There are so many cool math games masterpieces out there. These creators struck gold on their first try and achieved instant success. But once they got the tiniest taste of glory, they did exactly what I'm doing right now. They made a sequel. Anyone can make a one-hit wonder, but how many series can live up to the hype of a brand new game? That's what we're here to find out as we're ranking every cool math game sequel. A lot of series like Duck Life have tons of sequels, so we're just going to simplify things down to each direct sequel. There's a lot of 2s on the board today, people. I also made sure to only cover sequels to games on my original 2 videos. Yes, 2! Go watch both parts if you haven't yet. That means our list for today includes Fireboy and Watergirl 2, Duck Life 2, Snoring 2, Sugar Sugar 2, The World's Hardest Game 2, Big Tower Tiny Sqaure 2, Learn to Fly 2, This is the Only Level 2, Cargo Bridge 2, Snail Bob 2, Tarzan Ball, Run 2, Factory Balls 2, Truck Loader 2, Raft Wars 2, Awesome Tanks 2, 60-Second Santa Run, Escape from Castle Claymount, Space is Key 2, Red Ball 2, and Papa's Freezeria. Now let's find out which game Squeakle is getting the best head, and which one makes me want to drop dead. Fireboy and Watergirl return, this time in the Light Temple. It's still the same 2-player action you love, now with a bunch of mechanics tied to the idea of light. You can use reflectors to guide beams of light around the stage, and some levels are dark with the only light source coming from the characters. A lot of series on cool math games receive sequel after sequel, and this is one of many Fireboy and Watergirl games. As far as I know, they're the exact same each time, with a few new puzzles here and there. Basically, if you love this game, there are so many you could go through with a friend. I already thought this game was fine before, and it's just as fine now. We're still waiting on that third, green, non-binary character, and until I see them appear, this is going in B tier. I get to live a whole second life as a duck? I only get one human life, this is incredible! This time we pick up where we left off as a world champion. Can anyone remember the name of our duck from last time? Wrong, it's Jerry! How dare you forget? I definitely didn't have to rewatch the video to remember. I'm offended you even suggested that. I immediately started training and was a bit disappointed to see 3 of the 4 were exactly the same as last time. Flying has obstacles now, sure, but running and swimming were the exact same as before. They've added climbing now, which was pretty fun, but also very easy. For a bit I felt underleveled, but once I started getting into the groove, I was level 150 in no time, and no one could even catch up to me. The races had fun backgrounds this time as well, traveling the world for each one. The finale is in none other than Japan?
Wow, すごい!
すごい!
I know the later Duck Life games got pretty crazy, but Duck Life 2 was pretty much the exact same as the first one. I'll have to say B tier again. The snoring animals are back, except now you can actually watch the elephant fall to his death. S. Since these games aren't even trying to hide the fact that they're the exact same, each sequel has a different theme, and this one is the Wild West. My favorite! I like the outfits they gave the animals. Having the elephant be a prisoner makes his pushing him off a cliff a little more justified. But there's not even a new animal or something, this is straight up more levels and nothing more. Of course it's cute and fun. It took less than 10 minutes to 3-star the whole dang thing. This is certainly not on the same level as the last 2 games, and they chose the stupid Wild West out of all the themes in the world. C tier. Holy shit, I'm doing better than anyone has ever done in this Suika game right now. I'm literally squeaking out right now. Wait a second, I was supposed to be making a video. Alright Suika, I'll make the biggest, ripest melons you've ever seen in just a second. First we gotta play Sugar Sugar 2-2. Bart Bonte can't escape these Cool Math Games videos. He's on this one twice still. The majority of levels here are really just more of the same. The anti-gravity is back, colored sugar returns, stuff like that. There's a new teleportation mechanic and these striped cups that need multiple colors. But as the trend we've seen so far today, we're getting more levels, but hardly anything new. I might need to take my expectations for these games back a bit, but can you really blame me for expecting more from a sequel? I hope just one of these games offers a significant change today. I will always love Sugar Sugar, and to have Sugar Sugar squared is a whole lot of sugar. Sugar. I'm not budging, guys. I don't care if every single game is in B. I won't stop until something is significantly better or worse. The World's Hardest Game 2? How does that even work? There can only be one World's Hardest Game, so which is it? Guess I'll have to play through and decide for myself. Well, considering I got completely stuck at level 9, I guess I gotta give it to the sequel. There were some pretty easy levels, and at one point I was supposed to use a key to go through a wall, but just walk through the wall instead. But otherwise, I was on some of these levels for a while. I have no job to make it further than level 9. Literally no one last time said they beat in the first game either, so I shouldn't feel too bad about it. Now, if you had to guess what I'm about to say, what would it be? Do you think I'd mention that the graphics, obstacles, and challenges are nearly identical to the first? That this is quite literally a 2.0 to the original game? Joke's on you, buddy. I was actually just gonna say B tier, again. I'll be honest, after playing the first big Tower Tiny Sqaure, instead of playing the other games on the list, I spent the rest of my night beating every game in the series, so I've already played this one. But trust me, I am more than happy to play through it all again. I didn't force myself to beat the entire thing again, it hasn't really been that long since I first played it. Thankfully, it's saving my progress so we can play the ending cutscene before even playing. Despite planning to quit, you think to yourself, just one more section, just one more level, and before you know it, 20 minutes have gone by. This game was amazing before, but they've actually added quite a bit here. You have a double jump right off the bat, which is a pretty big change, and there's a bunch of new obstacles and mechanics to find. There's also little sub-levels now, which really isn't much different but gives you more to play, which is a win in my book. My biggest gripe is definitely the graphics here. The logo especially proves my point. The game was all squares before, nothing but squares. Now we have, what is this round square here? I hate you round squares, and I'm green now? Pink was definitely a better color on me, but that's really besides the point. This is by far the best game on our list so far, and I am more than happy to give Big Tower Tiny Sqaure 2 the first S tier of the night. Learn to fly? That's almost better than Escape to Africa! In this sequel, we pick right back where we left off. Our penguin has become a meme for running into an iceberg, and he's pissed! This time he'll use a dummy penguin and destroyed the iceberg. Right off the bat, everything is improved from before. The animations are amazing, the music gets more hyped the faster you're going, there are so many upgrades and missions, and it's a blast to destroy that snowman for the first time. I think I got this random Easter egg super early too. I was reincarnated way up in the sky, and got nearly 1,000 bucks for it when I usually only earned 100 for each run. I'm such a lucky guy. There's some fun challenges too, like flying backwards. What a great idea. This game is just a joy to play. There are so many upgrade games on CoolMathGames, but so far this is leagues better than any other I've tried. S tier. I know it's called This Is the Only Level, but don't worry, this one is also the only level. There can be multiple only levels, but only one hardest game. For most games, I want their sequel to evolve the gameplay in some way, but that kind of goes against the idea of This Is the Only Level. The whole point is that nothing changes and you have to deal with a new puzzle each time, so simply giving us a new layout and new challenges is perfect. I especially enjoyed having to maneuver through the menu for a stage, and just generally enjoyed trying to figure out each task given to me. This is the sort of game that never gets old. Well, it probably would, but only 2 games isn't enough. I've played like 5 of these. A tier. Guys, I promise I'm going to get the best score of all time in Suiga if you just let me play! Fine, I'll play Cargo Bridge 2. I felt like the original game was extremely slow and annoying to undo mistakes, so I'm hoping the sequel will improve on that. Right away, I love 3 things. The art style, of course, the updated controls that allow for quick undos and new material selection, and these crazy level designs. I didn't play through all the first games, so I don't know if all these are new, but the bee obstacles and falling objects really made for fun levels I'd never seen before in a bridge building game. I truly lost track of time and would love to keep playing after making the video. I'd just gotten these TNT structures allowing you to blow up parts of the bridge at any point. This is a really great bridge building game. The list started a bit depressingly, but we're back in the group, baby. S tier. And now I get to scare Snail Bob fans once again. Placing the original Snail Bob in B was apparently a sin, so maybe with the sequel he can finally secure an A or S tier placement. Before playing any Snail Bob sequel, you know exactly what to expect. I'd say the biggest difference in this one is that the creatures are actively trying to kill him. You have to avoid getting cooked, give a spider a dummy, and, well, sometimes you get eaten by an eagle. Snail Bob does a little evil himself, sacrificing 3 of his cousins to beat the stage. He buried those things alive and walked over their grave. Messed up, man. Genuinely, this one is so much more enjoyable than the first. It's not that different, but the levels are just more interesting. Not to mention Gary the Snail got a cameo. Alright, that's gotta deserve an A tier. Let's see, our next game... No, this cannot be real. How does this keep happening to me? No one still has explained to me how Catch the Candy, IQ Ball, and now Tarzan Ball have different random names despite being the exact same. Nelson Mandela is freaking rolling around in his grave right now. Before you start trying to claim that this isn't a sequel, look at your screen. CoolMath themselves call this a sequel to IQ Ball. And we have to finish this trilogy now. I couldn't move on to the afterlife with that sort of unfinished business. As I played, this conspiracy grew bigger and bigger. I swear to you I've played some of these before, either in Catch the Candy or IQ Ball. Tell me there isn't a golfing level in one of those. I swear it. Then they decided I was too close to the trail by giving me this stupid freaking crane level, and over again the stupid wrecking ball got stuck in this stupid cloud. Is it just me, or is that stupid? And finally, when you beat the game, you get this nice little animation, but wait! Enhance! Those are not balls, those are candy! If Tarzan Ball is a sequel to IQ Ball and Catch the Candy isn't related, then why the hell is there candy when there should be balls? Where are my balls? Where? I swear to everything you love dearly, if I found out there's a fourth game exactly like these three, I will explode on command! D tier. Runtime. It's runtime! I know I'm always hearing about how great the third game is, but I'm really curious how the second one holds up after the first. What makes the first so great is its pick up and play nature and 3D auto-running platforming switching genius. It's really unlike any other game on CoolMathGames. I remember saying last time how the last few levels were my favorite, considering the rest of the game almost felt like you were in a tunnel the whole time. I was so excited to see this game immediately break away from that. Now it feels like every platform is on its own plane and you can really go wherever you want throughout the stage. The way the blocks come at you looks so freaking cool. I was blown away while playing. I played through all 25 levels in 8 minutes or so, and it felt so much longer, in a good way. It felt like a massive experience when in reality, it was quicker than most games on this list. It's not short though, there are bonuses in each stage to collect, and then unlock extra levels. I am not even close to good enough to be able to beat them all, but I went ahead and got 5 just to see one bonus level, and it was very fun. I also played as a new skater character, which I think is meant to be harder. I like the challenge. It's really a crime these games aren't talked about more often. They're some of the greatest games you can play on CoolMathGames. What a phenomenal S tier. Bart Bonte is back with Factory Balls. I secretly played this one too out of the first video. I forgot how fun this puzzle series was. It's really just figuring out the order of operations and make a ball look the way they want you to, but it's addicting. It couldn't be simpler, and that's why it's great. I will say, one time I made a ball in a weird way and it didn't accept it, despite it being perfect. So rude. Bart makes all his sequels the same, they're basically extra level packs. He'll make a brand new series if he wants to try something new, so I can't get too mad. But it would be pretty hypocritical to place this any lower or higher than B. I honestly didn't really care about the original truck loader. The arm movement was cool, but otherwise it was a bland puzzle game with a frustrating gameplay at best. I didn't have much hope for the sequel and, well, I'm glad I didn't. If you thought you were watching footage of the first game, nope, this one just looked exactly the same, down to the freaking font. Not every level is bad, and here and there I enjoyed getting to wave my arm, but moving this stupid little robot around is way more annoying than you might think. It flips over so easily and constantly gets stuck on the tiniest of things. It just combusted at this point. I don't think it's D tier, but I will say C. On the other hand, I really enjoyed the first Raft Wars. I was pumped to try the sequel. This time we're in a water park, shooting at paint. Don't worry, we get back to slaughtering kids eventually, but I'm pretty underwhelmed from the get-go. Our trend of carbon copy sequels has clearly returned, and I have the feeling it won't be our last either. We're at a water park, how are there no levels where I shoot a kid and he slides backwards down a slide? Why instead am I fighting construction workers at a water park? I'm pretty sure I put the first one in S somehow, and today I was just bored of this one after one level. You can only be amused by the word ass in a kid's game so many times. I'm saying C once again. That's right, that's how you get a melon. Alright, I admit it, I'm addicted. Let's get addicted to awesome tanks instead. All I'm hoping for here is some new weapons, new tanks, and an enjoyable experience. And that's basically exactly what I got. There were new weapons and tanks who used those weapons against me. The rockets were a really cool addition that you control with your mouse, but just like last time, nothing really matters once you unlock the laser. There is a new railgun that's pretty nuts, but I will always be impartial to the laser. This is really all I wanted and expected from Awesome Tanks 2. The upgrade system doesn't feel all that amazing to me, and it is just more of the same, but you can't hate on a game where you decimate tanks one after another. I'm saying A. A lot of these series had holiday-themed spin-offs at some point, but most games had more than just that as a sequel. 60-Second Burger Run only ever had one other game, and that is, of course, 60-Second Santa Run. We've always wondered how Santa got to everyone in one night, but 60 seconds? I know I'm impressed. Plus, Santa is classically fat, so he fits the player model perfectly. I really like how Santa looks here. I feel like it's very different from his typical stylization. And this has the makings of a sequel, surprisingly. There's new stuff to go through, like these lasers. It's like the Duck Life 2 of 60-Second Burger Run. It's still a 60-second dash to the finish, and finding a quickest way there is still fun. As a sequel, I think it's done just fine. I feel very accomplished to have beaten it, and I'm putting it in B tier. Out of all the games on the list, this is really the least like a typical sequel. I played the escape game Trace last time, and people told me to check out their other game, Escape from Castle Claymount. I have no idea if this came out before or after Trace, but my love of escape games is too strong to not check it out. Indulge me, please. Besides, Trace was amazing, so I have high hopes for this one too. We actually have characters this time, and the setting is in a claymation-style castle. I believe it was made in Blender or something, but they could have fooled me. Everything is made out of clay or real-life objects, and it looks absolutely incredible. The puzzles are just as great as before, and when you collect an item and know exactly what to use it on is the best feeling in the world. I got a little stuck on a few puzzles, but the tools for me to figure them out were definitely there. I don't want to spoil too much for you because you have to play this for yourself, but I do want to commend the nice cutscene at the end, and I enjoyed the little fetch quest for each of the characters. They're both great games that deserve the spotlight and deserve an S tier. I didn't know if this game had a sequel or not, but when it came to finding my games for this list, I had to look to see if there was one. I was very happy that I could play more of this one because it's so easy. It's a one-button, one-handed game. Just think of all the things I could do with that other hand. Actually, maybe keep that stuff to yourself. Creep! We're back to the same old strange color palettes and impossible looking jumps. As always, we got a speed upgrade halfway through that makes your whole world flip. And then literally the whole world flipped. I don't know if it's going to be hard to watch, but it was tough to play. There are 10 challenge levels too, that took just as long for me to beat as the 20 main levels. In the end, it took me 20 minutes to beat this simple yet tough little game, and I loved it. The music is amazing too. As a sequel though, it's gotta go and be like the others. The original Red Ball looked pretty rough, especially for how beloved the series is today. I'm really curious how different the sequel is going to be, considering by 4 they had a huge glow up. Let's see, oh my god! You poor thing. Why did they give Red Ball hair? This time around, Red Ball just needs to get his crown back. You dropped your crown, King. And once you know it, the graphics stayed the same with the horribly drawn face on our titular Red Ball. Some levels were actually pretty in-depth, and I enjoyed an occasional one here and there. This time around, you have to collect every star before beating the level, and they used it to their advantage more than a few times. I do think this is an improvement over the last game, but not by much. Let's appreciate how awesome Red Ball 4 is as we place Red Ball 2 in C tier. Look, technically Burgeria was next, but these games don't really have an order, right? Besides, you don't want to see another Bob's game in D tier, do you? Let's give Freezeria the proper recognition it so clearly deserves. I was talking to my friend who knows very little about the series, and he was surprised to hear that Freezeria is not only the most popular Papa's game, but the most universally loved as well. He assumed it would have been Pizzeria. What a naive little shit, am I right? For anyone who's played the games, it's obvious why this one is so great. It's fun making these colorful drinks for customers, and even better, it's super easy to learn. And in just a few in-game days, you're gonna have a hang of things, and by that point, you're hooked to collect everything in the game. You also meet new customers and adopt a favorite as you go. By the way, Prudence is mine, so back off! If you don't have a favorite yet, check out my video on some of the customers and find your OTP. Anyways, I 100% of the Steam version of this game, here's a screenshot to prove it, and I can easily say that's a definitive version of this game. Any Papa's fan is doing themselves a disservice to not play it. Well, this is the version that started it all. It's nostalgic as hell, and it continues to be one of the most popular games on CoolMathGames to this day. It would have been a disgrace to end this series of videos without giving Papa's Freezeria the S tier it deserves. Clearly, I didn't really hate any of these games, other than stupid Tarzan Ball, but so many failed as sequels. Of course, I enjoy more of the same, but to truly succeed as a sequel, I need some sort of new experience. Puzzle games have an easier time getting away with that stuff, but the upgrade games like Duck Life really have no excuse. It felt like I played the exact same game twice. A lot of cool math games are super short, and quickly made too, so it's no surprise to see them whip up sequel after sequel. But the ones in S tier prove that it's possible to do more than just that. Some of these genuinely blew me away, and made me happy to see the series receive a follow-up title. CoolMathGames games are always fun, and that's the real lesson to take away from this. Now, if you'll excuse me, that melon ain't gonna make itself. Thank you for watching, and let me know if there should ever be a part 3 to the CoolMathGames series. I know part 2 didn't do amazing, so go back and watch that one too if you'd like to see more. I'd be happy to do it. Which sequels are your favorite? Sorry I didn't do all the Duck Lives or Run 3, so maybe I should do a video on those series or something. Let me know. We've established Snail Bob hates his cousins, but us millions actually appreciate our snail brethren. If you want to be related to Gary and not that traitor Bob, then please consider becoming a member of the channel today. Thank you Snailgroth One Finger, Snail Cobalt Chrome E, Snail Patrick Bayerjan, Snail Honamaki, Snail Brightstreak, Snail MD Switchy, Snail Dolphin Rider H2O, Snail Dojo Master, Snail Christoph Creations, Snail Lavatane, Snail Eduardo Santiago, Snail Jasper TV, Snail Keep, Snail Omegon, Snail Galguy, and Snail Daisy. Imagine if CoolMathGames got a sequel. CoolMathGames 2. Even more cool, even more math, and even more games. Holy shit, that's actually a sick slogan! Cool Math, you legally have to pay me to use that, you have to! You dropped your crown, King. 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 You dropped your crown, King.